Welcome back to the Barry Charles Footy Show. Big news, Justin. Reece Walsh out of Origin. Also going to look at the Broncos. Are they going to implode here? The Dylan Brown saga. Adam O'Brien, is he off and gone? And the list goes on. But I'm also going to look at my top 8 from the last 9 rounds and who I think are going to be there at the business end in 2023. And if you haven't seen my video beforehand of my 9 to 16, just a spoiler alert, I think Parramatta might miss the 8 as well as the Roosters. But getting back to the footy, yes indeed. Welcome back, guys and gals, to the channel. First off, Reece Walsh has been found absolutely guilty and got 3 weeks for it. Is it too lenient? I think so. And I think what the most embarrassing thing out of this is his storytelling. Using Patrick Carrigan and David Fafita to say he wasn't swearing at the ref, blaming the ref. It was absolute carnage, chaos, soap opera. Absolutely unbelievable to even try and fake his way out of this. He was clearly swearing at the ref. Just be honest, mate, and get it done. But that is the question mark for Reece Walsh. Does he want to be the greatest player in the world, or does he want to disappear in a couple of years' time as he gets to too big a head? He obviously had the issues with cocaine with the Warriors, relationship breakdown. He's got to grow up. There's too much. Is he just too much of an egomaniac? He really needs to get himself back in the thing, because I know he can do it, and we all want him to, because he is the star of our game. But there is positives. Obviously, players like Payne Haas, who had off-field troubles, have turned it around. And obviously, Jonathan Thurston, drunken episode in his younger days at the Cowboys with the police. So Walsh has an opportunity to get himself back in the running. And let's hope he does, because he is the star of the game. Dylan Brown. Well, this is just a sad one, folks. Going to plead guilty to sexual touching of a woman without her consent. Absolutely disgusting. And people that will say boys will be boys is no excuse. Without consent is no. Do not at any stage touch any female or male without their consent. Absolute craziness. Let's hope he learns from it and moves on. But it'll be interesting to see what he gets for his. I believe he's only going to get some home detention, and more than likely be back on the field. I believe is what's going to happen. But he will need to learn to make sure he doesn't do it again. The Broncos, the talkers, are they about to implode like 2022? Well, their draw says possibly, which I will talk about a bit later in the thing. But with Reece Walsh out for the next few weeks, at least they've got a bye. Well, this doesn't help with Reece Walsh, but it helps with the Origin. Tristan Sailor obviously goes in for Reece Walsh, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can deliver for the next few weeks. I think the Broncos are a different kettle of fish this year, and I think you will see them holding on to a top 4 spot. And there's still the possibility Ben Hunt will arrive before August 7th. And speaking of Ben Hunt, if he is going to leave the Dragons, who will replace him from the squads? So let's have a look at the possibility teams in the Roosters. Roosters, to me, I think he's going to go to Queensland, but we're going to hypothetically say these things, Roosters, straight swaps, Sam Walker. They'll have more money in the tank as well, and they could even take Joey Manu with them, take both of them for Ben Hunt. Done. The Titans, AJ Brimson would be ideal, and then you've got Tino and Fafita, but that's probably more likely not going to happen. But Jaden Campbell is a possibility. I know he doesn't want to leave, but if he got the opportunity with a bit more pay packet, then maybe he would go. The Broncos, or Adam Reynolds, straight swap, Sam Sweet, but I don't think that's going to happen. But maybe a Katoni Staggs and a Jesse Arthurs, a couple of players. Not like for like, but strengthen up the back line. Payne Haas, you never know, for a bit of money. But yeah. And so it's going to be interesting, because all these teams aren't wanting to let go of these players, so I'm not sure what's going to happen here, but I expect Ben Hunt to be at the Broncos before the end of the year. But whether he stays there long term, I'm not sure. Getting back to Reece Walsh, Who replaces him in Origin? Well, obviously Kalen Ponga would be the easiest one, but he said he's pulled himself out apparently. Can Billy Slater change his mind? Does he want to change his mind? Well, there's a couple options. Obviously, AJ Brimson was in the reserves, straight into one, keep the team the same. Sounds a logical option here, possibly. But to me, you put Hammer at fullback and let Dane Gagai finish off his career with a clean sweep and a good way for him to go out. I think he deserves it. Give it to Dane Gagai and put Hammer at the back. That's the way I'm seeing that, and let's hope it happens. It would be great theatre for the third game because there's not much to go home about there. Anyway, now let's have a look at my tips from last week. I got 5 out of 8, but it was 5 out of 5 going into Sunday, and it went to the Packers. Went absolutely shocker. After that, the Roosters lost to the Raiders. It's not a surprise, but the Broncos losing to the Titans. What's doing there? It was just absolutely shocking Sunday footy for my tips, but that is rugby league. Adam O'Brien. Who replaces Adam O'Brien if he gets the flick? Well, you got Jason Riles, you got Ben Hornby, you got Dean Young, the unproven ones, and you got players. One just got sacked, Justin Holbrook, Jeff Tuvey, or Matthew Johns, Kurt Gidley, with any of these, Andrew Johns, of course. But Danny Buderus is my tip. He's done it before. He did it in the caretaker role, but I think he could be the coach. I think he has the calmness to be a leader. He's been around the Knights for a long time. I think he could deliver Knights to the promised land. Whether that happens, who knows? But let's have a look at my top 8, according to me, looking at the ladder predictors, with my tips for the last 9 rounds. And as I said before, earlier in the show, if you want to watch my 9 to 16, there was the video before this, go have a look at that. But anywho, let's get to it right here, right now. In 8th position, and on their way to maybe fighting footy again after looking like it was a disgraceful season coming up this season, the Cowboys. Yes, the North Queensland Cowboys should make the top 8. The danger team is the Eels, obviously, but North Queensland have their chance. Let's have a look at their run home. They got Tigers. They should be winning that one at home. Then they have a bye. Sea Eagles away. They should win that. A big game against the Eels at home. It's a maybe. Titans away. It's a big game. They should win. Then they got the Storm at home. I would say no. Then they got the bye again. Sharks at home. They should get it, but who knows? And Dolphins away. They should get that one done. And then they finish off with the Panthers away. I can't see that happening. Now they don't have the easiest draw coming home, but they do have quite a few games at home. If they lose to the Eels, that might be the difference between them making the top 8 or not. And also the Titans straight after that. If they lose both those games, they won't be in the top 8. I can tell you that right now. They have a chance of coming 6th, but reality, they'll be 7th to 9th. Number 7. Yes, number 7. For me here, the Canberra Raiders. Ricky Stewart will get back into the finals footy again. But can they get past round 2 of the finals this year? We'll talk about that later, but maybe not. Let's have a look at their run home. Titans, they should get home, yes, at home. Dragons away, yes. Knights at home, yes. Tigers at home, yes. So they got an easy draw the next month, if you're looking at the draw. But then they got Storm away, no. Then the Bulldogs, yes. Broncos at home, no. Then Sharks away, no. So they got a tough finish. So the next 4 weeks is going to be crucial for the Canberra Raiders to get some points on the board so they can rocket away and make sure they're in the top 8, which I expect them to be. Best place is likely 5th, but I think they're looking at 6 to 8 with the draw. 6th place for me, the Sharkies. I just think the defence is going to let them down at the end of the season, and that's why they're going to finish outside the top 4. And let's have a look at their run home. The Dragons at home, yes. Tigers away, yes. The Warriors away, maybe there's going to be a big game for their top 4 aspirations. Seagulls at home, yes. Panthers away, no show for me. Rabbits away, maybe, but I'll still say no. The Titans at home, they should get home. Cowboys away, maybe, but I'll say no. And Knights away, yes, and Raiders at home. So they got no buys to finish. So they actually have to play a lot of footy. The Sharkies, and they might run out of steam. The Warriors game is going to be huge for them for top 4. But realistic finish 4 to 6 for me for the Sharks. Just missing out on the top 4 this year, like last year, I think, Melbourne Storm. They could make the top 4, but I'm going to tip they're going to miss. They got a few games that are going to make or break them. Let's have a look. They got Panthers at home. This is going to be a big game for the top 4. Then they got the bye. Roosters away. They should win, but it's definitely one of the danger games. Eels at home. Who knows? They should get it done, but the Eels are in good form. Panthers away. I can't see it. Raiders at home, probably, but the Raiders are playing pretty good football. And then Dragons away, yep. Titans at home, yep. And then Broncos away. So they haven't got the easiest draw coming home in the Storm, but it probably will set them right for finals footy. But with the draw, I expect them to miss the top 4. But they can easily finish from 1st to 6th. But obviously coming through, so they have to win pretty much all their games from here. Now my top 4. This is who I think the top 4 are going to be. The Rabbitohs. Well, they really have pundled down to earth. Down to 8th after losing quite a few games on the trot. But they really need Mitchell back. But to me, their draw on the way home is as soft as any. And they have an opportunity to get on a roll. First off, they have the Warriors. I'm going to say no. But this is a big game for them. For the top 4. Then the Bulldogs at home, yes. Then a bye. Broncos at home, maybe. Tigers away, yes. Sharks at home, yes. Dragons at home, yes. Knights away, yes. And Roosters at home, maybe. So they've got a soft draw to finish the Rabbitohs. The only other team that has a similar draw, maybe, are the Warriors. So you shouldn't be expecting the Rabbitohs to make top 4. They could get as high as 2nd, but as low as 8. But I believe that they will be there, and they should make the top 4 with the draw they got. The Broncos have got a hard draw to come home with. They could pundle out, but I expect they'll stay in the top 4, ideally top 2, but I don't think they're going to get top 2 now with the draw they've got and Reece Walsh out. But Dolphins at home is a must-win. They have to win that. The bye. The Bulldogs away, yes. And the Rabbitohs away, I can say no without Reece Walsh. Roosters at home, yes. But could be a danger game. Cowboys away, maybe. Eels at home, maybe. See, a lot of tight games here. They could drop the bundles here. The Raiders away, maybe. Storm at home, no way for me. So yeah, there's a possibility of a fade out here for the Broncos. But they've got to make top 4. If they don't, then they probably will struggle to be any chance in the finals for me. Going to be interesting for them to see if they do bundle and fade away again. Time will tell. Now, let's have a look at my number 2 team. Well, obviously, I might be a bit biased, but the Warriors have got a chance to do something special in 2023. They should make the top 8 with the draw they got now, but they should have a preparation for the top 4 with the draw they got. Let's have a look. They got Rabbitohs. This is a must-win if they want to be in the top 4. Eels away, maybe. Sharks at home, yes. Raiders at home, yes. There's going to be a couple of real vital games for them if they want to be in their top 2, especially top 4. They've got to win these games at home against teams close on the table. So they could drop down the ladder and be in the bottom 8. But then they've got to make the fortresses home, the Warriors. Then the Titans away, maybe, but they should win. Tigers away, yes. Seagulls at home, yes. Dragons at home, yes. And Dolphins away. So their last month of footy, we know the Warriors are known for absolutely choking against this team, but this is a different team this year. They won those last 4 games. If they can win 6 out of 8 or 7 out of 8, they are a top 2 team for sure. Top 4, it's got to be their aim, the Warriors, with the draw they got. Top 2, they get a home first game. So this is a big game for the Warriors. They need to get it done. Panthers, to me, the team to beat. They are the team to beat. Their defense has been the best all year. They should be there. So Storm away, maybe. Then they got a bye. Dolphins away, yes. Bulldogs at home, yes. Sharks at home, should be a yes. Storm at home, maybe. Seagulls away, yes. Titans away, yes. And Eagles at home, maybe. And Cowboys at home, yes. Then Panthers. Even though they haven't got the easiest draw home, they are the team to beat. Even with Nathan Cleary getting a rest, they are on their trajectory to maybe winning 3 in a row. And they look like the team to beat in this competition. There are some other teams they can win. So just having a little scenario of what will happen if this was the top 8. The Panthers would take on the Rabbitohs, which I would say the Panthers will get it done. The Warriors and the Broncos is a 50-50 there. you could say Broncos might have the better team, but I think the Warriors might be finding some form at the right time. Then Storm and Cowboys, the knockout game. I'd say the Storm will get it home, but Cowboys could win that. The Sharks and Raiders in the 50-50, but I'm tipping the Raiders, which would give the Warriors, and if I'm saying the Warriors beat the Broncos, Warriors and Panthers get a week off, and then the Broncos and Raiders have to play Storm and the Raiders. I'll say Raiders and Broncos will get that done, which would mean the Panthers will take the Broncos on, which would be a wow-forming game in the Warriors and the Rabbitohs. So the Warriors are potential of making the grand final in 2023, believe it or not, folks. They could miss the top 4, but if they miss the top 4, it's their own fault. If they miss the top 8 altogether, well, absolutely embarrassing with the draw they got. They have to be. This is the year they're back in finals footy, baby, the Warriors. Thank you for joining me in the Barry Charles Footy Show. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back with more videos shortly. Have a great day out there.